and the identification of strategies designed to help surmount implementation bottlenecks, as Rumana reports.
Five main departments and offices under the purview of the Vice President and Women's Affairs Minister, namely the National Nutrition Agency, National Disaster Management Agency, Women's Bureau, Population Affairs, and the Office of the Vice President, all met to present reports of their activities for the last 6 months.
The objective of the office retreat is to reflect over what we have been able to do from January to June. I mean this specific one. If you recall, there was a time when we had a sectoral meeting. In that meeting, we discussed the work plans that had been prepared by the various sectors under the purview of the Office of the Vice President. These work plans are page-based work plans. In other words, there are activities that are geared towards the attainment of the objectives stated in the page program.
Sectoral reviews, according to officials, avail them the opportunity to share best practices and strengthen the cordial ties between institutions, their partners, and map the way forward. And this particular meeting entailed all these qualities.
To me, it's a forum that promotes the agenda of maintaining that internal cohesion within the ministry towards achieving a common goal as outlined in the page, the Vision 2020, and other national development documents.
All institutions have registered significant gains during the period under review, but offices like NANA placed greater emphasis on institutional strengthening, while the National Disaster Management Agency underwent a paradigm shift.
I'll put it into three main areas. One of the key areas was institutional strengthening and capacity building, where in the period we have recruited a number of staff, like we have recruited 2 field assistants, 2 drivers, an accounts clerk, a documentation clerk, an internal auditor, and we are also recruiting an external auditor. These are staff that are recruited to ensure that we strengthen our institutional capacity within the agency. In that line, we also have done some training of key staff within the institution to build their capacity. We have also helped our partners by providing them with computers, photocopiers, laptops, and we have procured motorcycles for our field officers, 8 motorcycles, and also we have procured 3 vehicles for the office.
We are now here in this sector meeting to promote resilient development. We talk about sustainable development. It is important to have sustainable development. But how sustainable it can be without building the resilience? So now the emphasis is, that is paradigm shift towards resilient development. Resilience is not resisting, but its ability to withstand shocks.
The Women's Bureau described the International Women's Day celebrations held in Janjanbureh CRR as a complete success, notwithstanding some of the late release of funds they experienced from their partners.
Our major achievement for this year, first of all, I would say is the celebration of the International Women's Day, because since the beginning of the year, we have not done much because our main funding partners is the UN system, and you know the 5-year CPAP last 5 years has just ended and they've developed a new one, so it has delayed most of our implementation. But for the International Women's Day commemoration, the one held in Janjanbureh on the 19th, things have not been done business as.
Notwithstanding their numerous challenges, all institutions were commended by the Vice President and Women's Affairs Minister, who actively participated in deliberations earlier during the presentation by the heads of the various institutions. Ajah Dr. Esrinjai Sedi said she was impressed.
I think really sectors have achieved a lot. Like I said during the closing remarks, they've achieved a lot and a lot has been done, that there has been improvements in terms of practices and reporting methods and methodologies. Of course, our reporting is based on what we get from the planning unit of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, because all we are discussing are plans and how far we've implemented our plans and programs. And where we have challenges, we highlight them. Where we have way forward, we say it, how we can address some of those challenges. So we've come very far, and there has been a lot of improvement in terms of achievements in terms of the impact that our programs have had on the beneficiaries in the country, whether it's under disaster, whether it's under nutrition, whether it's under population, whether it's under women's affairs, and under the Office of the Vice President as well as a supervisory body. We've achieved a lot as a ministry as well.
The Vice President went on to pinpoint the importance of the meeting that she believes will help all sectors meet the pledge target as enshrined in the National Development Blueprints. The quarterly meeting, many believe, helps institutions set their priorities and discuss ways and means of overcoming the impediments that hinder their effective implementation of their work plans, which is a setback in achievement of the objectives set by government. For Grts News, I am Asitumane.
Officials from the Bankers Association of the Gambia today presented a check for nearly $200,000 to the Vice President and Women's Affairs Minister. The money, according to the donors, is their contribution towards the trust fund set up by government to help farmers who are reeling from the effects of the crop failure. And as Aisutumane reports, Madam Jai Saidi later met with Nigerian actor Jim Ike.
Recall that government declared severe crop failure due to the irregularity of rains last year. After the declaration, organizations, individuals and institutions have been coming forward to assist in their own ways to help the farming community.
In response to the government declaration of severe crop failure and the call for both national and international assistance, we have witnessed a number of donations coming in to respond to the declaration of severe crop failure in this country. But I think this is a clear example and manifestation of the commitment of the people of this country to the clarion call of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Sheikh Professor Dr. Alhaji Idrissa Jammeh, to assist our farming community.
The Bankers Association of the Gambia also threw their weight behind the farmers ahead of the rainy season. This, according to the Managing Director of Arab Gambia Islamic Bank, is their way of fulfilling their corporate social responsibilities.
We at the Bankers Association, we felt concerned in the sense that this is an environment where we do our business. This is an environment that has been very supportive. We are operating in an environment that nobody would doubt that is highly secured. We have the security and we are at peace. You are living peacefully among a community that naturally is affected by a disaster. We felt duty bound to come up and show our little concern.
Presenting a check of $150,000, Sirajo Salisu added a personal contribution of $40,000 plus another $2,000 from Alaji Mahmoud Jang. The Minister of Agriculture, Solomon Owens, believed that the donation is the beginning of a new partnership between government and the private sector, saying this is a step in the right direction.
This will be the beginning of a very fruitful partnership between the Bankers Association and government. We've been stressing public-private partnership all along in support of the agricultural sector. This is a very good beginning, and I hope it's going to continue.
The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Dr. Aissatou Saidi, thanked the donors for the gesture, saying it will go a long way to helping alleviate the suffering of farmers, which she says is not ending anytime soon, according to estimates.
We had a lot of hope in the last season. The President said it himself. Because everybody responded to his clarion call, go back to the land, eat what you grow and what you grow what you eat. I think all Gambians responded. We grew massively. We used all the farmland we had practically in this country. We had very little virgin land left. But unfortunately, the rains failed us. And that for the past few years, they've been failing us. If it's not excessive flood, it's excessive drought, you know. You are not sure even what the coming season will bring. We are only guesstimating, as it were, based on what scientists can gather as at now. So it's difficult to estimate when it comes to climate change. I think we just think that's what would happen. Now they are telling us the rains might be delayed for a while. The rains we saw were not the actual rains, but that they'll be delayed for a while. And that means the hungry season will be extended.
Madam Jai Saidi said that government values the contribution of the private sector towards national development endeavors. In a